100 Years of Solitude is a novel by Colombian author Gabriel García Márquez, published in 1967. It is widely regarded as one of the greatest achievements of Latin American literature and is considered the defining work of the genre known as magical realism. The novel tells the story of the Buendía family, spanning several generations in the fictional town of Macondo, which is situated in a remote part of Colombia. The novel intertwines the fantastical and the real, blending historical events with myth and fantasy in a way that has captivated readers for decades. The themes of solitude, love, fate, and the passage of time are explored with both depth and humor, and Márquez uses the narrative structure to reflect on the cyclical nature of history and the human condition. The story is marked by a large cast of characters, many of whom share similar names, and the generational saga of the Buendía family presents both a sense of timelessness and inevitability. Through their lives and struggles, 100 Years of Solitude delves into the complexities of identity, family, and the nature of solitude. The novel opens with a dramatic and surreal scene in which Colonel Aureliano Buendía, one of the central characters, is facing a firing squad. As he stands in front of the soldiers, he remembers the moment when his father, José Arcadio Buendía, founded the town of Macondo, a remote village in the middle of the Colombian jungle. José Arcadio Buendía is a visionary who dreams of making Macondo a thriving modern town. He is a deeply introspective character who constantly seeks new knowledge and discoveries, such as the pursuit of alchemy and other scientific experiments, despite the lack of practical results. José Arcadio Buendía's obsession with knowledge and progress begins to unravel his sanity as he becomes consumed by his dreams and ideas, neglecting his wife, Ursula, and their children. Meanwhile, Ursula is a strong, resourceful woman who plays a pivotal role in keeping the family together. As José Arcadio's mind deteriorates, Ursula assumes the responsibility of running the household, and the couple's children, José Arcadio and Amaranta, grow up in a house filled with both love and tension. As time passes, the people of Macondo begin to experience increasingly unusual events. The first major disruption occurs when a group of gypsies, led by the mysterious Melquiades, arrives in the town. Melquiades brings with him strange, mystical books and introduces José Arcadio Buendía to alchemy, which captivates him. In one of the novel's first surreal moments, José Arcadio becomes obsessed with the idea of turning metals into gold, and this obsession drives him to madness. His mental deterioration is mirrored by the growing strangeness of life in Macondo, where the ordinary and the extraordinary are often indistinguishable. While José Arcadio Buendía is consumed by his scientific pursuits, his children grow and develop in the midst of these shifting realities. José Arcadio, the eldest son, leaves Macondo to travel the world, while Amaranta, the daughter, remains at home, taking care of her father and dealing with her own emotional complexities. As the town of Macondo becomes more established, the influence of the outside world, in the form of the gypsies and other travelers, begins to seep in, but the village remains isolated, disconnected from the wider world. One of the central events in the early part of the novel is the arrival of Rebecca, a young orphan who is taken in by the Buendía family. Rebecca is the daughter of a wealthy family who has been ravaged by plague, and her arrival brings both joy and tension to the Buendía household. Rebecca's presence disrupts the already fragile family dynamics, as she becomes romantically involved with José Arcadio, the son of José Arcadio Buendía and Ursula. However, their relationship is complicated by the fact that they are cousins, and the incestuous undertones of their romance are emphasized throughout the narrative. Rebecca's arrival and her relationship with Jose Arcadio mark the beginning of a cycle of love, passion, and tragedy that will haunt the Buendia family for generations. As the town of Macondo continues to grow and evolve, the Buendias struggle with their own personal desires and the limitations imposed by their family history and fate. The themes of love, memory, and identity are explored in greater depth, and the narrative begins to move toward more complex and surreal territory. Throughout the novel, the Buendia family experiences moments of great joy, love, and success, but these moments are always followed by devastating losses, tragedies, and eventual decline. A recurring motif in the novel is the cyclical nature of history, where the characters' actions seem to repeat themselves from one generation to the next, trapped in a never-ending cycle of desire, ambition, and failure. As the generations of the Buendia family grow and evolve, the town of Macondo also undergoes significant changes. New technologies, political upheavals, and foreign influence begin to reshape the town, but Macondo's isolation remains. In the midst of these changes, the Buendia family struggles with their own personal and collective histories as the ghosts of past mistakes continue to haunt them. The story of the Buendia family is punctuated by the rise and fall of the family's patriarchs and matriarchs. In particular, the narrative focuses on the figure of Aureliano Buendia, the son of Jose Arcadio Buendia. Aureliano's life is marked by a sense of loneliness and futility, and his attempts to bring meaning to his life are thwarted by the cyclical nature of history. The themes of power, ambition, and the quest for personal fulfillment are explored through Aureliano's experiences, and his tragic fate reflects the broader tragedy of the Buendia family. As Macondo becomes more connected to the outside world, the town is swept up in political and social upheaval. The arrival of outside forces, such as the government and military, introduces new challenges and complications for the Buendia family. The political unrest and the changing social order mirror the disintegration of the Buendia family, as their once wealthy and powerful position in Macondo is eroded by time, corruption, and personal tragedy. The political events that unfold in Macondo, revolutions, wars, and the rise and fall of different regimes, serve as a backdrop to the personal dramas of the Buendia family. These political events, along with the continuing cycle of family tragedies, underscore the novel's central theme of the inevitability of time and fate. The characters in 100 Years of Solitude are trapped in a world where personal desires and social structures collide, and where the passage of time often leads to nothing but loss and disillusionment. In the later parts of the novel, the Buendia family faces its greatest trials. Aureliano Buendia, the last living male heir of the family, reflects on the long history of his family and the fateful nature of their existence. He comes to understand that the cycle of love, loss, and tragedy that has defined the Buendia family is not something that can be escaped. His awareness of this inevitability becomes both a source of strength and despair as he prepares to face the final moments of the Buendia legacy. The novel concludes with the apocalyptic destruction of Macondo. The town, once full of life and promise, is left in ruins, and the last members of the Buendia family are wiped from existence. The final realization of the cyclical nature of the Buendia family's history comes when Aureliano Buendia uncovers the long-hidden prophecy that has defined the family's fate. In this moment, the themes of time, memory, and fate come to fruition as the Buendia family's story reaches its inevitable conclusion. Themes and symbolism. 100 Years of Solitude is rich in symbolism and thematic depth, and its exploration of the human experience is both profound and tragic. Some of the key themes and symbols in the novel include solitude. The theme of solitude is pervasive throughout the novel, with almost every member of the Buendia family experiencing isolation and loneliness. This solitude is both physical and emotional, as characters struggle to connect with one another and find meaning in their lives. The title of the novel itself reflects this theme, as the Buendia family is trapped in a cycle of solitude that extends beyond time and space. Time. The passage of time is a central concern in the novel. The narrative structure itself reflects the cyclical nature of time, with events repeating themselves from one generation to the next. This cyclical time emphasizes the inevitability of history, fate, and human experience, suggesting that individuals are powerless to escape the patterns of their lives. Magical realism. One of the most distinctive features of 100 Years of Solitude is its use of magical realism. The novel blends the fantastical and the real, presenting supernatural events as if they were part of everyday life. This technique highlights the blurred boundaries between reality and illusion, emphasizing the subjective nature of experience and memory. Memory and forgetfulness. The characters in the novel often struggle with their memories, and the theme of forgetfulness is closely tied to the idea of solitude and time. The Buendia family's inability to escape their past is mirrored in their attempts to repress or forget the events that shape their lives. Love and passion. Love is a central theme in the novel, but it is often marked by obsession, tragedy, and disappointment. The characters' passionate desires frequently lead to their undoing, and the novel explores how love can both elevate and destroy those who experience it. The cycle of history. The cyclical nature of history is another key theme in the novel. The Buendia family's repeated mistakes and tragedies suggest that history is a force that repeats itself, with individuals unable to break free from the patterns of the past. 100 Years of Solitude is a monumental work of literature that examines the complexities of human experience, history, and time. Through the story of the Buendia family and the town of Macondo, Gabriel García Márquez creates a world where the magical and the real coexist, and where the struggles of love, loss, and fate are played out against the backdrop of a changing society. The novel's intricate narrative structure, rich symbolism, and philosophical depth make it a timeless masterpiece that continues to resonate with readers around the world. Its exploration of solitude, memory, and the passage of time offers profound insights into the human condition, making it a work that remains as relevant and compelling today as it was when it was first published.